guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about the prejudice like ADHD and autistic people get. You know, like the stereotypes, and how actually you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So stop assuming stuff. That's basically what we're going to be talking about today. But first, if you could smash me a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll forever be grateful, because I'm trying to make my dream a reality. And if you like and subscribe, you know, it motivates me to keep pumping out content. So let's get on to the video. So if you're like me and you're a female and you have ADHD, I guarantee you probably would have heard things like, oh, I didn't know females could get ADHD, or oh, females don't get ADHD, like that's the wrong diagnosis. You know, it's blah 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 blah. And you know what, those prejudice, you know, those stereotype things can be super like demoralizing for someone who has ADHD or autism, because you know what we go through as a person with ADHD and autism, we have obstacles in everything we do, going shopping, you know, making friends, going out clubbing. All these things cause massive obstacles for us with ADHD and autism. You know, it's not like we can just go out and have like good fun everywhere we go. We don't have to think about things, we don't have to plan things more. You know, our life is actually kind of dictated by our ADHD and our autism. So when someone kind of says, oh, females can't get ADHD, it kind of makes you feel demoralized, like they're trying to say like what you go through doesn't have a value. You know, you don't feel validated as a person, because you're kind of like, well, if females can't get it, then what am I going through? Am I making it up? You know, it's not a very nice thing to kind of say to someone who kind of not suffers, but you know, has to live daily with the implications and the complications ADHD and autism causes for us. And not for 1 minute am I saying, you know, oh, it's all the females only get it, because I know males, I know they get it too. And I know that people kind of stereotype, you know, ADHD people, men specifically, this part, you know, as criminals and ASBOs, because their behaviour could become kind of aggressive or negative quicker than someone without ADHD. So not for 1 minute am I saying, oh, women this, women that, females. No, I'm saying both genders get it. But what I'm just trying to say is, you know, each gender kind of have their own kind of stereotype and prejudice comments made to them. And what I'm trying to do with this video is just kind of make it a subject. You know, I want people to realise that females can get ADHD. ADHD men are not all ASBOs, they are not all criminals. Don't get me wrong, there probably are some, but that doesn't mean that every person deserves to be kind of like judged and titled and discriminated against because there's one or two people that have ADHD that may be in prison because of their ADHD. So having ADHD does not make you a bad person at all. Actually, we're super generous, we've got a massive heart, but people don't realise that because they're too busy kind of stereotyping us. You know, they're too busy, you know, thinking, oh, females don't get it because it's a genetic thing for males. No, that's so wrong. Females get it, and actually their symptoms and their traits of ADHD are really quite different to males. Not all females have different traits, I'm not saying that, but females are more likely to have the inattentive type of ADHD. But, you know, I don't. I have the combined type. I'm super hyper, you know, and I'm quite, like, impulsive. You know, I'm not very inattentive, you know, things like that are not my main issues. Mine are quite hyper, and I want to be on the go, and I want to do this and I want to do that. So these stereotypes that only females get inattentive types, again, I've proved that wrong. I'm a female and I have ADHD. I'm a female and I do not just have the inattentive type. I have all of the types combined together. So there's two stereotypes that I can prove to you are scientifically wrong. So for this video, I want you to learn that stop stereotyping people, because none of them are true. So for today's video, like I say, I want to open up and I want to tell you, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So if you didn't know, there's Katie Price, who has a son called Harvey, who has really complex needs, but also he has autism and ADHD. But behind closed doors, you know, she opened up and she let people into her house, right, in a program recently. And she showed everyone the state of her walls. They have holes in the walls, you know, doors are broke. You know, behind closed doors, you do not know what goes on behind someone's door. Like, trust me, you don't know. For example, Paddy McGuinness and his wife, they have children that are all autistic, okay? And that must be extremely difficult. But you don't see them like going, you know, on and on and on about it. You don't see them, you know, trying to get pity from it, because the thing is, Parents of kids with extra needs, they don't go around kind of, you know, trying to get self-pity. No, they don't. They are strong and independent because they have to be for their children. They don't go around trying to win some like points by saying, oh, I have special needs kids. No. But the thing is, because they don't, people automatically assume that their home life is pristine and they're living the best life they possibly could. But in reality, it must be super, super hard. And, you know, you don't know what goes on behind their closed doors. You know, they could be arguing all the time because the stress and the, you know, the worry, the anxiety and how overwhelming it could be for their children could be, you know, it could have an impact on their parents' marriage, because actually it did on mine. So the thing is, you should never judge anyone by the way that their Instagram looks, for example. People only put up what they want you to see. And no one really wants to admit that their home life isn't great or their kids are having a real hard time. Not a lot of people want to open up and talk about that. So today, that's what I want to raise awareness of. You know, you never know what's going on inside someone's head, behind closed doors. You don't know, so please stop assuming. Please stop trying to give your opinion and trying to help, because it doesn't help. It actually really discriminates and makes people feel like utter shit. You know, you don't need to say, oh, you're probably parenting wrong. No. That is the most horrible, you know, it's just a horrible, demoralising thing to say. Don't you dare say, oh, you're parenting your child wrong, because actually, no. It's not down to parenting. Autism is not down to a vaccine. It is not down to the parenting. It is a genetic disorder. It is genetic. It's a neurological disorder. You know, you are not gonna, you don't get it from a vaccine, you know. You are simply born with it. And people just assume that, oh, it's down to bad parenting. But the thing is, it's not. Neither is ADHD. It's not down to bad parenting. Like a typical ADHD here, I'm going off the rails a bit. I'm kind of losing the track of what I'm actually trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, don't just assume someone isn't, you know, struggling, or, you know, a parent isn't having trouble behind closed doors. You know, people put on a brave face because they don't want people's judgment, they don't want people's opinion, they just don't want people's comments, you know. People would rather just sometimes deal with it on their own and just pretend that it's okay and just almost live a normal life outside of their closed doors, because that's the only kind of reality that they've got. So just think next time you say to someone, oh, have you tried this with your child? Oh, you should probably go into parenting classes. Before you say that to an adult that has an ADHD child or autistic child, please don't say it. Just do not, just literally don't say it, because whatever way you say it, however nice you're trying to be, however you come across the conversation, just don't say it. Just don't. You're not gonna help this person. You're actually probably gonna piss them off. So if I was you, just shut your mouth and just don't say anything. That's probably the best thing that you could probably do. This is the part that I wanted to get onto, and it's the things like when kids go to school, right? They could be really, really well behaved and they can still have ADHD. Kids do not have to have bad behaviour. They do not have to be hyper. This child does not need to swear at a teacher. This child does not need to throw chairs and tables around the room to have ADHD. A child, okay, are so intelligent. They learn to adapt to social situations. It's called masking. This happens with ADHD and autism. Kids just learn to do it because they don't want to be singled out. They don't want to be kind of left out. They just learn to almost copy and paste who they are so that they just fit in socially. And that could be super dangerous because, again, it could lead to them, you know, going under the radar and not picking up their autistic or ADHD traits. But, you know, kids are way more intelligent than people give them the credit for. You know, these kids will go and they will kind of like focus and they will learn how to act. And this is the thing about social, you know, just because autistic people, you know, people say that they haven't got people skills or that they're not great at communicating. I've got ADHD, I've written a book, I do a YouTube channel, I've got autism, and I do both the same. You know, I'm good at communicating. I'm actually quite a peoply person. The only thing I'm not is I can't really understand people's intentions and people's kind of, you know, emotions. I find that pretty difficult. But because I'm quite a social, like, butterfly, I will just, like, talk to anyone. And, you know, once I get to know you, you won't shut me up talking. But people kind of just assume because I can communicate via talking and you know, chatting and because I'm like that, people automatically assume that I don't have autism or ADHD, and when I tell them, they're like, no, you don't. But I do, but the thing is, I've learned to just mask. I've learned to just get on with it. I've learned that actually, in order to, you know, thrive in social situations, I've just got to copy and paste and kind of just, you know, watch and see what the situation is, and I just learn to adapt to that situation. And that is the thing that people don't understand. So for example, like I say, girls could go to school, they could be super quiet, really like reading, keep themselves to themselves, but the thing is, when it comes to exams, or, you know, it comes to doing a test, their SATs test, or whatever it is, right, their times tables test, they just don't, they can't do it. They can't do it, because the thing is, maybe their attention isn't great. They might just be staring at you because actually they know they're meant to be, but it's not actually going in. So again, their social kind of masking, they know they have to be concentrating on you, but the thing is, they know to look at you, but you don't know what's going on up here. And this is the thing, people don't realise that things go on behind people's eyes, their brain. People don't realise that. People don't realise that things go on behind closed doors. Kids will come home from school, they could be absolutely an A-star student, have the best behaviour at school. They'll come home and bam, that's it. A massive old meltdown because they've had to suppress all their feelings and their, you know, and the anger and upset and overwhelmed. They had to suppress that. So when they get in, close that door, they're at home in their safe environment with their mum and their dad and their siblings. That's it. They feel like they can release, you know, they can release their anger, release their emotion. But people don't see that because they're not there. Teachers don't see it because they're not at school, they're at home. And this is the thing that people don't understand. People are intelligent. Just because they have ADHD and they have autism, kids are intelligent. And they mask, just like I do in certain scenarios. You just have to. In order to just go out in society, you know, go shopping, anything like that, pay your bills, go into a bank, you've just got to learn to cope. And we do. And we are so well equipped, you know, masking, all these things that we learn to do naturally because we just have to. They equipped us just to look normal, and that can be super dangerous. So having autism does not make you look autistic. Like, I don't understand, like, is there a specific look? I mean, it's certainly not what Sia kind of portrayed as an autistic person. Okay, it does not look like that. Like, I'm sorry, but what Sia has said and what Sia has kind of portrayed an autistic person to look like is just absolute bullshit. Nobody looks like that. It's people like Sia, right, that could really help raise awareness of autism and ADHD and special needs in general. You know, she has such a huge platform. This film she's made could have done wonders for, you know, our, you know, how people look at us as people, how people stereotype people with autism and ADHD. Yet she kind of stereotyped us, and she's just fed the people that just don't believe in autism or ADHD, you know. She's just fed them this image of someone who like can't talk, who she's just stereotyped us. And again, it's not fair because she doesn't have autism, nor does her actor. You know, it's super unfair. And I just want to say, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't look autistic. You can't look like you have ADHD. I'm sorry. These are not physical impairment kind of disabilities or disorders. I'm sorry, you cannot look autistic. That you just can't. So I really hope that you've learnt from this video that you should never stereotype anyone because you don't know what's going inside their head. For example, there are some celebrities, Hermione Granger, Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, Adam Levine. You've got so many famous people that have ADHD and autism that don't look like they have autism or don't look like they have ADHD because they're super successful. But people would say that they don't have ADHD and autism because they are successful. People just assume that people with autism and ADHD are gonna be sponging off of benefits, or they're not gonna be intelligent. But let me just tell you, people with ADHD and autism are so intelligent. We have super fast minds, we are super creative, we have so many things going on in our head that I bet you any money we are more intelligent than most of these neurotypical people. We have so much to offer this world, yet people just, they won't even give us an opportunity to try because they're so bothered about this stereotype version of what an autistic and what an ADHD person is. So if you've learned anything from this video, please just take away, you should never stereotype anyone, nor should you ever tell a parent it's probably their parenting skills, because that's just a load of bollocks. So please stop saying it because it's unfair and it's nasty. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you've learned something from this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll forever be grateful. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.